You ever felt like no matter how much effort you put in, something inside the relationship just shifts? Like one day she's warm, engaged, and all in, and the next you're left guessing if you did something wrong or if you even matter anymore. Here's the cold truth. Most men don't understand the rules of attraction, and they certainly don't know the unspoken scorecard women keep. There's a difference between being loved and being evaluated. And the sad part? Most men don't know which one they're experiencing until it's over. Women observe, adjust, and wait. By the time they speak, the internal decision is often already made. In this video, I'm going to reveal 6 shocking truths about women that most men never hear, but should. These truths explain why so many men feel blindsided, powerless, or simply out of the loop in modern relationships. And if you watch till the end, I'll show you how to play the game on your terms without chasing validation or losing your self-respect. Before we dive in, here's a quick question for you. Have you ever felt like her behavior changed before she even said anything? Drop a yes or no in the comments. Let's see how many of you have been blindsided without even realizing it. Fact 1. Women keep an internal scorecard. Here's the reality most men overlook. Attraction is never static. It's not a switch you flip once and keep on forever. Women update their internal scorecard constantly, day by day, interaction by interaction. And it's based on what actually matters. Energy, direction, composure, how you handle setbacks, your momentum, your leadership, your edge. Think about it like this. She's running a silent spreadsheet in her mind. Every interaction is a line item. Every argument, every moment of tension, every act of confidence or failure gets logged. And here's the kicker. Small shifts in behavior are the warning signs, but most men ignore them. I remember a friend of mine, let's call him Mark. Mark was dating a woman for almost a year. On paper, everything looked perfect. Dates, texts, intimacy, the works. But over time, she subtly started pulling back. Fewer compliments, less engagement, slightly colder in tone. He thought it was nothing, that she was just busy or stressed. Except she was updating her scorecard daily. And by the time she voiced dissatisfaction, the evaluation had already been made. Mark was blindsided. Why? Because he only noticed the words, not the behavior, the patterns that really matter. Key insight here. Behavior is the briefing. Words are the paperwork. She shows you first, tells you later. And if you miss the signs, you'll be caught off guard when it's too late. Here's a tip for you. Pay attention to energy shifts, micro reactions, and consistency over time. These are the signals most men completely ignore. And yes, it's subtle, but it's there if you know where to look. Think back to your last relationship or current dating scenario. Did you notice small, early changes in behavior that you ignored? Type observed in the comments if you did. I guarantee you're not alone. Fact 2. Words come last, behavior comes first. Now let's take that first fact a step deeper. Most men wait for a verbal confirmation before acknowledging there's a problem. Big mistake. Dissatisfaction rarely comes out in words first. It's always in the behavior. This is subtle, but deadly. The touch becomes less frequent, tone gets sharper or more distant, investment in your connection fades. Yet men often wait for the conversation, the verbal, we need to talk, before they react. Here's a real-life example. I had another friend, Jake, who dated a confident, successful woman. She never outright complained, but over 3 months, her engagement in conversations declined, she stopped initiating plans, and she subtly withdrew physically. Jake waited and waited. And then one day, after she finally said, I think we need a break, he was utterly blindsided. The problem? He ignored the pattern and focused on words instead of signals. By the time she spoke, the internal evaluation had already been finalized. Here's the lesson. Start observing patterns, not words. Small withdrawals, subtle shifts in tone, reduced investment, they're all behavioral signals. Think of it as reading the map before the destination changes. If you rely solely on verbal confirmation, you're already late. Let me ask you this. Have you ever realized too late that the vibe was off before she ever said anything? Comment pattern if you've been there. It's more common than you think. And here's a mentor level tip. When you notice these shifts, don't panic. Instead, reflect on your own energy, direction, and value contribution. Adjusting yourself, growing, and keeping your standards aligned often reactivates attraction automatically. But ignoring it entirely, that's how men get blindsided and lose attraction without even realizing it. If this resonates, hit that like button. Share it with a friend who's been struggling to decode female behavior. It might save him months of confusion. And don't forget to subscribe. This channel isn't just for entertainment. It's for men who want clarity and control in their relationships. By now, you've seen the first two truths. Women keep an internal scorecard and behavior always comes before words. But here's where it gets even more eye-opening. Because not only are these patterns subtle, they're ongoing. And if you don't understand them, you might be walking straight into situations that feel confusing, unfair, or completely blindsiding. Let's dive deeper. Fact 3. Some women don't leave until the exit is lit. Here's a truth most men find hard to swallow. Many women maintain backup options, not because they're cheating, but because it's a risk management strategy. They hedge. They stay safe. They make sure they're never alone in a way that leaves them vulnerable. Think about it like a business. A woman is running a silent risk assessment. She's asking herself, if this doesn't work out, do I have options? Am I safe? The key here is this doesn't mean she's disloyal, but it does mean that your value and her sense of security are intertwined. Let me tell you about David. David was dating a woman for 2 years. He thought everything was solid. Then, out of nowhere, she ended things. He was devastated because in his mind, he was good enough. But here's what he didn't realize. She had been quietly evaluating, hedging, keeping her own options open. Her exit wasn't impulsive. It was strategic. And his misunderstanding came from thinking that love alone guarantees safety or commitment. Key insight. You can't control the backup plan. But here's the twist. If you grow, lead your life with direction, and create undeniable value, the backup plan often becomes irrelevant. She doesn't need it anymore because you are the option worth prioritizing. Have you ever felt blindsided when a woman seemed all in, but then suddenly stepped back? Comment exit if this hit close to home. Fact 4. Many modern relationships are transactional. Here's another shocker. A lot of modern relationships resemble deals more than partnerships, and most men don't see it until it's too late. Admiration, affection, attention, and investment are often based on what value you provide, not just because she loves you. And if your output drops, her emotional and physical engagement may fade. Let's be brutally honest. If you're constantly giving and never assessing what she contributes back, or how aligned her actions are with her words, you might unknowingly be funding her exit strategy. Example time. Alex was dating a woman he thought adored him. He gave time, energy, validation, and emotional support, believing that being good enough guarantees loyalty. Over time, her engagement dipped subtly. She became less affectionate and eventually left. Why? Because the value exchange shifted and he never noticed. Key insight. Clarity beats suspicion. Know who gives what and who receives what. When you operate with alignment and boundaries, you avoid becoming a walking ATM or emotional insurance policy. Look at your current relationship or last one. Were there moments you felt like you were giving more than receiving? Type transactional if that resonates. Fact 5. Confidence can mask fear. Here's a mind-blowing insight. A confident exterior often hides an anxious core. Women, like men, face insecurities, but in modern society, their value is linked to youth, beauty, and social perception, which means constant pressure and panic-driven decisions. Many women will appear confident, assertive, and in control, but underneath, fear drives behavior. This manifests as ultimatums, pushing for early commitment, or subtle tests of your value. And if you don't recognize it, you may react emotionally instead of strategically. Story example. Ryan met a woman who seemed unstoppable. High energy, socially magnetic, sharp mind. But she frequently tested his patience with ultimatums. If you don't commit, I might walk away. On the surface, she seemed confident, but the pattern revealed fear disguised as control. Recognizing this allowed Ryan to respond calmly, maintain his standards, and ultimately strengthen the connection, or walk away without drama. Key insight: don't be pulled into panic-driven decisions. Keep your pace, standards, and direction. Let her reactions inform, not dictate your moves. Confidence is attractive, but when it's masking fear, it's a test of your own clarity. Here's where things get really interesting. All these patterns, scorecards, backup plans, transactional dynamics, masked fear, don't turn off when a relationship ends. They linger long after the breakup. Exes check value silently. Internal scorecards continue to run. Growth and direction don't just maintain attraction, they can reactivate it automatically, even after the relationship seems over. Think about it like a fire. The embers never fully die. If you've been growing, leading, and building value, you light up the scorecard without trying. There's no chasing, no pleading, no explaining. Your actions speak louder than any words could. Interactive question. Does it feel shocking to think that attraction isn't once built, always stable? Comment scorecard if this changes how you see your past relationships. And here's the suspense twist. Many men chase validation after a breakup, thinking words or apologies can reset attraction. The truth? It was never about words. It was about direction, value, and momentum all along. If you're still watching, comment clarity if you're ready to start seeing these patterns in real time. Hit like and share this with a friend who needs to wake up to the hidden rules of attraction. Fact 6. Boredom kills attraction faster than betrayal. This one hits deep. Many men think that betrayal, cheating, lying, abandoning, is the ultimate relationship killer. But the truth? Boredom kills attraction silently, invisibly, and more effectively. Predictability, comfort, routine, these things feel safe. But safe is not attractive. Safe is invisible. And when attraction fades, even a committed partner may start mentally evaluating the scorecard. Am I still excited? Does this person still challenge me, inspire me, push me forward? Let me paint a picture. Sam was with a woman for 3 years. On paper, he was everything she wanted. Stable job, attentive, loyal. But Sam stopped growing, stopped challenging himself, stopped building direction. Slowly, her energy toward him faded. She didn't cheat. She didn't yell. She just became distant, colder, and finally, the spark was gone. Boredom doesn't shout, it whispers. It erodes attraction without leaving a trace, until one day it's too late. Key insight: growth, direction, and challenge are antidotes to boredom. Keep pushing yourself, expanding your edge, and creating momentum. Not for her approval, but because attraction responds naturally to motion, value, and progress. Think about your own relationships. Has boredom ever silently killed the spark? Comment spark if this resonates. It's a hard truth most men avoid thinking about. Now here's the ultimate twist. All of the internal scorecards, hedging, transactional dynamics, and even boredom, none of it is permanent. Attraction is alive as long as growth and direction exist. Exes continue to evaluate silently. Internal scorecards don't shut off after breakups. And here's the kicker. If you maintain value, direction, and momentum, you automatically reactivate attraction, even without chasing, begging, or explaining yourself. Think about it like a magnet. Value, growth, and clarity naturally draw attention. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify. You become the option worth prioritizing by default. Story example. James dated a woman for 2 years. They broke up because he felt she wasn't aligned with his direction at the time. He didn't chase. He didn't plead.
Instead, he focused on growth, fitness, career, social circle, and personal development. A year later, she reached out, not because he said anything, but because his direction, energy, and momentum spoke louder than any words ever could. Lesson: your value is self-explanatory. The more you grow, the more clarity and attraction follow, without compromise, drama, or chasing. Let's break down the big takeaways from these 6 shocking truths. Number 1, scorecard is ongoing. She evaluates consistently. Behavior, energy, direction matter more than words. Number 2, words equals paperwork. Behavior equals briefing. Actions always reveal the truth before speech does. Number 3, backup plans exist. Security and risk management are natural. You can't control them, but you can make yourself the option worth prioritizing. Number 4, modern relationships equals transactional if value isn't aligned. Know the exchange, set boundaries, and avoid funding exits unknowingly. Number 5, confidence masks fear. Recognize panic-driven behavior and respond calmly while maintaining your standards. 6, boredom kills attraction faster than betrayal. Growth, challenge, and momentum are essential to maintain connection and excitement. Core insight: knowledge is your armor, not a reason for bitterness. Play the game on your terms. Build value, direction, and clarity. Avoid chasing validation and let attraction naturally follow your growth. Subscribe, not for entertainment, but to stay sharp and see the patterns clearly. Like and share. For men who think being good enough guarantees loyalty, this video might save months of confusion. Comment. Share if this hit close to home. Claim clarity in your relationships. Remember, men, clarity is power. Observe the scorecards, notice the behavior, maintain your momentum, and never let boredom or fear dictate your life or your value. Relationships aren't magic, they're patterns. And once you understand the patterns, you're in control.